I am going to talk about what it takes to thrive in today's marketplace. You're going to walk out of here with 3 sales strategies, 3 things that you need to really take your sales presentations up a notch. We're going to spend the next 45 minutes talking about what you need to do to take it up a notch. Because I think the one thing that we can all agree on, it's probably the one thing that we're all worried about, is that what has made us successful to this point, what's gotten us in this room, it is not going to be enough to make us successful going forward. We are living in a marketplace that is constantly shifting, rapidly moving. And in a world that is changing this fast, wouldn't it make sense, wouldn't it seem logical that we spend a little bit of time in here today, devote some energy at this conference to talking about what we need to be doing going forward to really leave our competition in the dust. That's what we're going to focus on. Sound good? Before we jump into those strategies, there's one thing I need to address. That is the elephant in the room. It is the one thing on all of your minds and probably on the minds of all of your customers. And that is the economy. Just what is this economy going to do? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it up? Is it down? Now, I do a radio show on Mondays, and I have been interviewing economists trying to get a handle on what this economy is going to do. And a couple of months ago, I interviewed an economist who told me I had nothing to worry about. We were looking at another 2 years of this economy going straight up. Then just last Monday, I interviewed another economist who told me, you already know, don't you, that I better put on my seatbelt because the bottom was going to drop out sometime after the first of the year. Now, here is what I have figured out from that. This is what I've learned. Nobody has any flipping idea what this economy is going to do, right? And I am not sure as entrepreneurs that's where we need to be focusing our time and our energy. We don't need to be worried about whether this economy is good or bad. What we need to be thinking about is just how different this economy is. Think about the world we live in today. Globalization, constant advancements in technology, increasing competition. We could all get up right now. We could go home. We could get in our jammies. We could get in our underwear. We could sit around in our skivvies. That's naked in North Carolina terms. Google until our heart is content and have everything we want, everything we need, everything our little heart desires could be delivered right to our door. I am guessing you do that right now. Come on, show of hands. You are the king or queen of Amazon Prime. Yeah? The most intimate relationship I have in my life, the one I value more than any other, is with a man who wears little brown shorts. He drives a big brown truck. He brings me presents on a weekly basis. Now, I am having fun with you, but I want you to realize that right there changes everything. That makes this an economy like none of us have ever lived in, worked in, or tried to grow a business in before. This is a very different economy, which calls for a very different set of strategies. It is not as much about what you sell as it is about how you sell it. Products are not hard for customers to find, and experience is. As Mark Hunter said this morning, finding somebody they trust. So it isn't about what you do, it is about how you do it. I love that this is called the Relationship Marketing Summit, because the most important thing you need to know how to do in today's marketplace is to build relationships. That's where your competitive advantage is. But this is not relationships like we have known in the past. This is relationships on steroids. You've got to be able to create an experience that is so amazing for your prospects that they don't believe they can find it anywhere else. And for your existing customers, those people who already trust you, you have to proactively add value at a level that makes them believe they can't live without you. And when you walk out of here today, when I leave this stage, you're going to have the strategies that are going to do just that. If you remember how crazy ads were back then. I mean, you could tell a woman that if she bought a certain bra, she would look just like Jane Mansfield or Kim Kardashian, if that's too old for you. And men weren't any better. I'm guessing you remember. Just a little dab of Aduya, little grease in your hair, Brill cream, women would find you irresistible, right? They did. And my personal favorite, I was not immune to this at all. I bought into this idea that there was an apparatus that was shaped like this. And I believe if I took that thing and I stuck it right here for 10 minutes every day, I would have thighs that look like whom? Yeah, right? Didn't work. But those were the good old days, and you've got to wake up because our economy doesn't work like that anymore, and for far more reasons than truth in advertising and rules and regulations. Our economy doesn't work like that anymore because more than this economy has changed. Customers have changed. They are no longer interested in what you say about your product or service, how they get information, how they make decisions, what they value. It is all different. I want you to think about this. Since you got to this conference, since you went to lunch, since I stepped up here on this stage, your best customers, those ones that you believe are married to you, your top prospect, that one that you have worked on for years, they are continuing the buying cycle and they are continuing it without you. Right now, they are online Googling, looking for information about what they want to buy. Tonight, they're going to go to a Rotary meeting or a chamber event, and they're going to ask other people about who they work with and what products they're using. They're going to go to a conference, they're going to read an industry magazine, and if your name is not coming up, if you are not the one that they are hearing about, then by the time you make the physical sales call, you're already behind in the sales process. The way to succeed in today's marketplace is to begin by building your reputation in the marketplace. You have to be the one that people have heard of and people have heard about. You've got to create buzz about yourself in the marketplace. I want you to think about this and I want you to take a note. What is something that you have done in the last 6 months in your business that is noteworthy? Maybe you hired a new employee. Maybe you've added a new product. Maybe you won an award or you attended an amazing conference like this. I don't care what it is, you need to make a note of it. Because I'm going to tell you in a minute what you need to do to create and promote yourself in the marketplace. Buying anything today has become like shopping at the cereal aisle of the grocery store. You've been to that aisle, right? It's the most overwhelming aisle in the grocery store. All you want is something for breakfast. It is not complicated. And you hit that aisle that stretches all the way from the cash register all the way back to the meat section. And in that aisle is just row after row after row after row after row of anything any human being could ever dream of to do with a cornflake. Right? And you are standing there and every single cornflake looks the same until you recognize that one cornflake that you remember your friend told you if you bought it, you would lose 20 pounds. And your doctor told you you would have the cholesterol of a vegan teenager. And you remember reading that you would live to be 120. You grab that box of cereal over every other box of cereal. In the world that you work in, you have to be that box of cereal. You have to pop off the shelf. You have to stand above everybody else and give me a reason to choose you over your competition. You've got to understand that in today's marketplace, the sales cycle starts without you. And you've got to put yourself out there in it. One of my favorite things about sales today is we are living in a high-tech world. You know, I mean, we can do it all on Facebook, text, email, anything. But at the end of the day, sales is a relationship business. It is a people business. It is an emotional business. And in a world where I can get in touch with anybody at a moment's notice, finding somebody to buy a product from is not an issue. Finding somebody I like, finding somebody I connect with, and finding somebody I trust, that's hard. We connect and communicate with people more by our body language, by the tone of our voice, by the way that we move. We make a decision about whether we like somebody and we trust them in a moment's notice. You made a decision about me when I stepped up here on this stage. Do not share it. All right, so these are my high energy, fast paced people. These are people who are always on the word go. If I say, do you wanna? We could be going for colonoscopies at 3 o'clock today, but by God, they are all in, right? So when I first meet these people, I've got to pick my energy up. Because if I don't finish my sentence pretty quickly, you're just going to mow right over me or get totally bored, right? And how do you feel about silence? If I come up and have a conversation with you, and I'm moving like this.
I would think you were very meek.
She means she's not quite sure I'd be very bright. That's really what she means, right? Who in here has ever bought something and you think what you paid for it was perfectly reasonable? But if your spouse or your significant other knew what you paid for it, they might think you were crazy. Yeah? My husband's worst nightmare is that I will sell his boat for what he told me he paid for it. But that's all right because he thinks I get my hair cut for $15. Foundation of a happy marriage. But what is that? What is it that makes me pay what others might think are ridiculous to get my hair cut that I think is perfectly reasonable? It's value. It's how I feel about it. Absolutely. And if you want to succeed in today's marketplace, you better learn how to proactively add value. The existing customers that you have are the greatest gift you have in growing your business. But the top 2 reasons your existing customers don't buy more from you, it's not because they don't want to, it's not because they don't need to, it's not because they think they can get a better price somewhere else. The top 2 reasons they don't buy more from you is because they don't know what else you have to offer and because you never asked. I think that is amazing. It is only because we are not going back out and selling to our existing customers. In today's marketplace, your business grows from the inside out. You need to be taking radical care of your existing customers because they're going to turn around and tell everybody else to do business with you. The worst thing that can happen to you in this economy, the worst, it's not that you don't get the sale. It's that your existing customer finds out about a product or service that you sell, that they need from somebody else other than you. Because if that happens, you break trust. And once trust is broken, it is so hard to win it back. The sale in today's marketplace happens in the follow-up. What do you think the chances are that you are going to interact with a customer at the exact time, the exact moment they need a product or service? Slim to none, right? None of your customers got out this morning, looked in the mirror, got down on one knee, and said, "Please, God, if nothing else happens to me today, please allow a sales professional to knock on my door and ask me for business." Right? Didn't happen. We have to be top of mind with our sales, with our customers at the time when they need a product or service. And you need to remember that absolutely anything is possible. I'm Meridith Elliott Powell. I believe, thank you. I believe that if you build your network, you will change your life. If we are not connected, I would love to be connected. Thank you.